Hi, I'm Joy Perrine,
And I'm Susan Reigler,
authors of
the Kentucky Bourbon Cocktail Book.
I'm Joy Perrine. I've been a bartender for 43 years. I was a server. The bartender walked out in the middle of the shift, and my boss said, "Get behind the bar." I basically knew how to make the easy drinks. The harder drinks, he would yell the recipe through the window. You take this glass, you put it with ice, you do this, and that's how I learned to bartend. I've been bartending ever since.
Hi, I'm Susan Reigler. I'm one of the authors of the Kentucky Bourbon Cocktail Book. I'm a former restaurant critic and beverage writer for the Louisville Courier-Journal, and this book is one of 3 that the University Press of Kentucky is planning on Kentucky bourbon.
Now this is one of my favorite Kentucky bourbon cocktails. This is the Bourbon Shake-Up. At the fair every year they make lemon shake-ups, which basically just sugar and fresh lemon and water. You really need some bourbon in it when you're done with the fair. So I've decided to put some makers. Once again, my old shaker, my shaker jar. You really want about the juice from an entire lemon. You just sort of cut it in wedges and sort of squeeze away. Some water. Some simple syrup, which is just 1 part white sugar to 2 parts water. A little more ice. A little more bourbon. We're looking for that beautiful color. Put our shaker lid on and shake, shake, shake. This is great fun for a party. And there we go. I started working for Dean Corbett in 1987 at Epps Restaurant. In 2000, we acquired the space next door and we opened up Jack's Lounge. I wanted a signature drink. I wanted it to be a bourbon-based signature drink. And I sort of thought around, what do I like? Well, I love bourbon ball candy. And I thought, okay, I'm going to make a bourbon ball that you can drink. As far as I know, I was the first one to actually do a bourbon ball cocktail. It's very simple. It's 1 part Woodford Reserve, 1 part Tuaca, 1 part dark cream de cocoa. Now, you'll notice I don't measure. I've just made so many of these drinks. Trust me, I don't have to measure anymore. We shake it over ice. We put it in a cocktail glass, and we garnish it with a fresh strawberry. Ironically, this was also the first drink contest I ever entered, which was a Tuaca contest, and I won $100. And then I decided, well, I sort of like these drink contests. I've been very lucky in the past. I've won a number of them. There we are, the bourbon ball. This is my American cocktail. We're using Jim Beam White Label from the Jim Beam Distillery. Some fresh lemon juice, some fresh orange juice, some fresh cranberry juice, a little maple syrup. This is called the American cocktail because north, south, east, and west are represented. We've got maple syrup from the north. We've got the orange and the cranberry or the orange and the lemon from the west. We've got the cranberry from the east, and we've got the Kentucky bourbon from the south. Garnish is very simple. Just a lovely twist of orange. There we are. I've been called the Kentucky Bourbon Infusion Queen. I'm well known for my various infusions that I do throughout the year. We're going to do two very easy ones today. One is going to be fresh lemon, and the other is going to be my 6-spice mix. Basically, we just take a lemon, we want to cut it into slices. So you basically get 8 slices out of 1 lemon. Just drop them right in the bottom. Some of the lemon juice will come loose, which is good. We infuse this for about 3 days. We pour it off, we strain it, we refrigerate it, label it, date it, we're good to go. Now, if the bottle were full, you would use 2 lemons, pretty much. Hard part's waiting the 3 days. Give it a shake, put it on the shelf, let it settle, strain it off, you're ready to go. The 6 spices I use: clove, ginger, mace, allspice, cinnamon, nutmeg. For about a half a bottle, we're going to use approximately a tablespoon. Again, give it a shake, label it, date it, let it sit, strain it off, refrigerate it, and you've got 6-spice bourbon and lemon bourbon. My spiced Kentucky bourbon, every year at Christmas, this is the base for my eggnogs. At Jack's Lounge, we do traditional eggnog, we do pumpkin, we do chocolate, we do candy cane, we do pistachio. We'll probably add at least 1 new flavor this year. The lemon infusion you can use for a lot of things. It's just a great whiskey sour. You could use it for the make the bourbon shake-up even more lemony. Just sort of chilled, mixed with a little sugar syrup for an after-dinner drink. Very refreshing, very sparkly. Infusions have been around for a long, long time. It's basically just when you infuse something, you're incorporating something else with it. It can be spices, fruits, peels, any one of a number of things. If you look in any of the really old cookbooks, there would always be a section in the back on cordials. Because the ladies, 150, 200 years ago, they liked the whiskey, they just didn't like the way it tasted. So they mixed it with things. This was sort of maybe the beginning of the, girls' night out or ladies' night. They would take cherries. They would take, mint. They would take, dried figs in the winter, whatever. Anything that was around that they thought would taste good, that's basically what they did, and that's what I'm doing today. I've used pineapples and cherries and apples and pears, raisins, lemons, limes, exotic fruits, blueberries, strawberries, blackberries. So the secret is, when you do your infusion, it usually needs to sit 2 to 3 days. You need to watch it, because if it starts to look funky, something's wrong. Once you strain it off and pour it into a clean bottle, it should be fairly clear. Now, obviously, if you use blueberries, it's going to turn like a blueberry color. Or strawberries, it's going to have a red color. Some things are very, very hard, really soft fruits. Raspberries, very, very hard to infuse. If you infuse raspberries, it's basically something you want to do, in maybe an hour or two, and you want to drink it in an hour or two because it doesn't hold well. The spice sort of lasts forever. Once it's strained and it's refrigerated, you're good to go.